Dawn had barely cracked the San Francisco skyline as Sarah burst onto the street, her backpack straps biting into her shoulders like accusing fingers. The familiar city sprawl, bathed in the soft gold of sunrise, felt alien, its bustling normalcy a painful mockery of the horrors she'd just witnessed. The air thrummed with the city's morning symphony, clanging trolleys, distant sirens, the chatter of early risers, but to Sarah, it was an orchestra playing a discordant melody, each note an echo of the creature's unearthly cackle. Driven by a primal fear, she didn't stop until she was miles away, huddled in a cafe near Fisherman's Wharf, a steaming mug of clam chowder warming her chilled hands but failing to thaw the ice in her veins. Every shadow held a lurking form, every flicker of light a potential cage. Her phone, its screen cracked from her panicked scramble, buzzed persistently, but she ignored it, fearing the concerned voices would shatter the fragile barrier she'd built around her fractured reality. Hours bled into afternoon, the clam chowder growing cold, the uneaten sourdough bread a testament to her numbed state. Then, a face familiar, concerned, broke through the fog of terror. It was Daniel, her friend and fellow documentarian, eyes creased with worry. He'd seen her missed calls, the frantic texts sent from the bowels of the parking garage, and come searching. Sarah's dam broke. The words tumbled out, incoherent at first, then forming a chilling narrative punctuated by sobs and shivers. Daniel listened, his face slowly hardening with disbelief, then grim understanding. When she finished, a silence thicker than the San Francisco fog hung between them. "It can't be real," Daniel whispered, his voice barely audible over the cafe's clatter. "It has to be some kind of hallucination, stress, anything." Sarah shook her head, her own denial crumbling under the weight of her recollections. The cold touch of the metal bars, the stench of the creatures, the burning white light that had momentarily banished the darkness, these were not figments of her imagination. But Daniel, ever the rational one, clung to that possibility. He urged her to report it, to go to the police, to expose the horrors for what they were. But Sarah knew better. Who would believe her tale of hidden depths beneath the city, of monstrosities bred in forgotten shadows? They'd call her hysterical, her story a fevered delusion. Instead, a different plan, fueled by a newfound resolve, sparked in her eyes. She wouldn't let fear consume her. She wouldn't let the creatures win. She had to document the truth, no matter the cost. With Daniel's hesitant backing, she set about gathering evidence. It was a clandestine dance, fraught with danger. Sarah, haunted by nightmares and jumpy at every shadow, returned to the 7th Street garage, venturing deeper into its forbidden depths, her trusty flashlight and camcorder her only weapons. Footage, grainy and shaky, captured glimpses of cages, the glint of metallic chains, a fleeting shadow that could have been anything or everything. Nights were spent huddled in Daniel's tiny apartment, poring over footage, searching for clues, deciphering the cryptic murmurs the creatures seemed to emit. Sarah learned of their origins, whispered fragments of a failed government experiment, a gateway to another dimension ripped open and hastily sealed. But the creatures, trapped and mutated, yearned for escape, and the crumbling concrete of the garage was their thin veil to our world. Their investigation, a race against time and sanity, culminated in a final, desperate plunge into the abyss. Armed with makeshift weapons and trembling hearts, Sarah and Daniel reached the level of cages, determined to capture definitive proof. But this time, the creatures were waiting. Shadows surged from the darkness, their roars drowning out the city's heartbeat. The camera tumbled from Sarah's grasp, the lens capturing a final, horrifying image before the screen went dark. The following days were a blur of fear and uncertainty. The footage Sarah managed to secure, fragmented and incomplete, wasn't enough. Doubts lingered, whispers of hoax and fabrication swirling around their claims. But for Sarah and Daniel, the terror was real, the echo of the creature's screams forever ingrained in their memories. They chose to disappear, leaving behind their lives, their friends, their dreams, all in the name of burying the truth. Sarah, the self-proclaimed documentarian, became a nomad, forever searching for signs, for whispers of the hidden horrors, ready to expose them, to warn the world, even if no one believes her. The 7th Street garage stands tall, a gleaming mockery against the setting sun. Tourists snap photos, oblivious to the darkness that pulsates beneath their feet. And somewhere, deep within the concrete labyrinth, the creatures wait, their eyes